Race fans, good evening and welcome to PGR eSports as we're ready to rack, stack, rock and roll and go money racing tonight in prime time. Welcome to the big house in Alabama, Earnhardt Nation. We get ready to do battle on this 2.66 mile oval. Good evening. Matt Mettler up in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth is qualifying, just finished up this field, getting stacked, ready to rock and roll as we get ready to do money racing tonight in prime time. 30 drivers set to take the initial green flag here tonight. Before we go and sit it down trackside, let's take a look at tonight's track facts as well as take a quick peek at the weather this evening. We send it up on the big screen for you guys at home. Again, Ruff Net Racing, TRD, a different league that I run. 119 degrees. It is a spicy one down there on trackside. 75 degrees air ambient temperature. That's going to clock in the humidity right around 45% water drain. Partly cloudy skies. Wind's going to be a non-factor as that's just going to be out of the west, static at 2 miles an hour. Could gust 3 to 4 miles an hour at times. Let's go ahead, clear that out of the way. We now send it down trackside. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, getting a notification here that perhaps something has gone amiss with the session. We're going to step aside, go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with action from Talladega. Stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations. Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Race fans, good evening and welcome back to Talladega, Alabama. I apologize. Admins elected to create a new session after things decided to puke on the back end right after the qualifying session. We've created a new session. The field now racked, stacked, getting ready to rock and roll right here on PGR eSports. Good evening. Matt Mettler up in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth, filling in for the lean, mean Austin Green, as he has other plans this evening. Happy to be up here for him in the Tony Trapassa Memorial booth, as like I was saying before, 33 drivers racked, stacked, ready to rock and roll. After all, tonight is the night time, the right time for some PGR money racing in prime time. As this field now, again, getting set to go racing here tonight around this 2.66 mile oval. Broke ground here in the late 1960s. In fact, this place was so scary. The very first time NASCAR came here, we actually had to get Grand National Series drivers to run this race, as there was concern for the tire compound. Just to show you how long this place has been intimidating drivers. And of course, this known as Earnhardt country, no pun intended, as he was called, the Intimidator himself, is that field now gets rolling behind that iRacing.com pace car. Let's take a quick check, make sure our timing tower is working correctly, and it is this evening. Hope you guys like the new layout, that clean, mean green color. Appreciate everyone showing up here tonight in the youtube.com live chat. Sound off. Let us know who you're rooting for here this evening as they make their way down the backstretch here. The calm before the storm as we get ready to uncork a Category 5 hurricane. And if that's not enough, throw some money on the line, and that's certainly going to dial up the excitometer into the stratosphere this evening. Currently at a snail's pace. Malik Ray going to start on the front row here this evening. Outside of him, Garrett Maines. Chevrolet on Toyota action on the front row. Because I do apologize, folks, that starting lineup graphic just does not want to work with me right now for some reason after we switch sessions. However, 33 drivers have hopes and dreams of winning tonight's race. As we get ready to lose that iRacing.com pace car. There he goes, and here we go. It's time to kick the clutch, wipe the dust, hope that rear end doesn't bust as we approach the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. We are racing under green flag conditions here at Talladega as these glorious V8s hit up the speed here as we climb through the gearbox for the first time this evening. 2x2 side-by-side advantage now goes to the low lane. Just as I say that, they took it up to the high side of the racetrack. Big time moves already as Maines leads the charge here early. Lap number one officially now in the history books, and that Ryko machine is doing everything. Oh my goodness. That almost was the big one right at the front of the field, as that Ryko 1 machine over the past 2 weeks has been absolutely electrifying. Feels like Superman out there on the racetrack, but however, that was a very rare mistake that was almost costly and perhaps could have uncorked a nuclear bomb at the front of this field, as he finds some way to get that Toyota right back up to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Don't look now, but Dawson Wise up forward position now as he takes over the lead for the first time tonight. Bottom lane comes down, throws a big-time side draft. In fact, he almost makes contact with that Camaro second in line. That's Landon Bellicke getting a big-time push from that AutoZone machine. Uh-oh, the 24 there, he's going to get caught in the sucker hole. No help behind him. And a similar story for that Ryko 1 ride. A little bit of a hesitation there as your leader now goes from the bottom to the top. We're going to see a lot of lane changing tonight over the course of this 60-lap duration event this evening. Some of these drivers trying to get a third lane to go as we're still making big-time moves up here at the point. There's Malik Ray in that 8th place position. He has bled 6 spots from where he started. The 7's going to come up to the 82, give him a bump. That was almost an offset push as they get it right and going into the corner. See the 82 throw the side draft there on the 7 as they got some serious boogie under the hoodie in the middle lane, and they are coming to challenge for the lead as they have the afterburners lit. Look at the move to the high side. Oh, we got big time problems. There it goes. And somebody took it in the business end of that race car. Where there's smoke, there's usually carnage. And as you know, folks, I got worried when I seen all that aggressive lane changing here early, is that is now going to officially be our first caution for incident here tonight. Let's go back and take a look at the PGR instant replay. You can see what popped off and went wrong here. As we wait for timing and scoring here to update. However, fireworks popping off here early. Let's go back now, take a look at what went wrong. Cue playback. Go ahead and slow things down. You can see multiple cars get sandwiched up there on the high side of the racetrack. That AutoZone machine goes up, unloads full-blown X Games mode as things got hot and heavy for the driver of that Mustang. And then if add insult the injury, I mean, the 4 just comes up and absolutely uncorks a howitzer into the side of the 19. He didn't even know what happened. I mean, he's just riding along like on a Sunday drive. The next thing you know, he looked up and saw Dale. As all the carnage slides down the racetrack. Let's go ahead and take a look at this again. Send it up to the eye in the sky here. You can see the contact made there. Turns that car straight into the wall, and then it's going to be just a melee from there. He gets sent down across multiple lanes, then all those escape arteries plug up. It's multiple cars barreling into each other there on the high side. Then watch the shot administered by the 4 right into the driver's side door. The 2 is going to get through there with minimal damage. Kevin Tipton, Kevin McCullough, Nash Barella, multiple drivers involved here in this one. As it's going to be an extended stay in the pits for some of these drivers here early. So we now cycle it back to the live side of things here from Talladega, Alabama. It's like Garrett Maines in that Toyota. It's going to continue to have the lead here in the early going. As he has been a force to be reckoned with just about any time he suits up. Straps himself in the cockpit of that race car. Kyler Wynn in the 20, up 1 position from the good, and that Chevrolet going to be on the outside. Then you're going to have the Matt Baker, Malik Ray, Jason D. Maines going to round out your top 5. Another note here, Maines been on the charge here early, up 5 positions already. If you're looking for the biggest mover of the race, that's going to be another Toyota driver. And like the marketing slogan says, let's go places. Michael Guest going to the front as he has churned 16 positions within under 10 laps total on the board here tonight. Michael Guest going on the attack here early, as those lights should now be going out on that iRacing.com pace car. And they do. Give these drivers a minute to catch their breath here before we send it back to 1,000 out there on the racetrack. Well, we have time. Let's take a quick peek at the weather again. Again, just afternoon, 12:30 sim time. Those winds going to be really a non-factor as they are currently static at 2 miles an hour. Ambient air temperature 74 degrees. Beautiful for this time of the year. Can't really ask for anything better. Water drain at 20%, so these cars going to be making all the horsepower. And that track temperature with that sun beating down on it, just under the century mark at 96 degrees Fahrenheit. My God, I can't speak for a moment there. Come through the turns, 3 and 4 complex. As we wait, that iRacing.com pace car, make that turn down pit road. Jump on board the 5 ride with Matt Baker for this restart. Into the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. He's going to put his foot through the floorboard as we get back under green flag conditions here from Talladega, Alabama. You're on board right now with Matt Baker, who currently leads the line on the high side of the racetrack as he gets his doors blown off by that outside lane. The Texas man hopes to have the plan here as we're back up to speed as we fire down the backstretch. Kyler Witt now takes over the front position as he's currently scored in that first place position on the scoring pylon. Top 6-7 cars ripping the top shelf of the racetrack here. The lead gray there as well. Garrett Maines goes to the, not quite sure what he was trying to do there. I think he thought maybe there was an opening there in the bottom lane, then realized that wasn't an option, and tell you what, he's got some fantastic luck, able to go to the middle of the racetrack, and instead of getting sucked into that black hole, he actually finds an escape route back to the high lane. Ooh, Malik there threw it down there, stuffed it in there like Santa in this chimney. He almost caught a piece of the flatlands there, which is something you don't want to do, as that really upsets the balance of that race car. Front 3 all single file, because that's Michael Guest now up 23 positions. I told you guys moments ago that he was the biggest mover of the race. I mean, he started out back the next county over. And going up against some elite talent out here on the racetrack. That Mustang got yeeted. Oh, if that's not the don't stain your ride, use Tide moment of the race, I don't know what is. That car should have been smothered and covered like the Waffle House hash browns, but he gets up on the wheel and rights that thing. Absolutely incredible piece of driving. Speaking of incredible pieces of driving, Brock Westmoreland goes the fast lap of the race, clocks in at a 47.93. As he currently runs in that 7th place position inside of the top 10. However, driver. It's all Michael Guest at the front of this piece. Big time side draft in there as they come off at turn 2. So John Ford special rages down the backstretch. John Ward. Whoa, he almost got a face full as Guest felt the momentum coming on the bottom. And he shoved it down there momentarily. Just enough to make John Ward's excitometer go from 0 to 1,000 momentarily, as now he gets some big-time help from the Ford. Tell you what, that high lane is much more well-organized than the bottom. But as soon as I say that, things begin to change quick, fast, and in a hurry as that top lane now surges ahead. 24 squirted out of the hot dog bun there. What a move! He had so much momentum. He was able to kick it out of traffic, no help, no problem, and carry it all the way to the point and clear himself back to the lead the train on the high side. That's Omar now, who leads for the first time tonight. Michael Guest now slides back to that second place position. Still, biggest mover of the race. But how about John Ward, as he's trying to do his best in impersonation of Michael Guest? And here we go. 2 cars get knocked down to the bottom of the racetrack. We're still under green flag conditions here. We're going to keep it up front, and just as I say that, the caution comes back out. Oh, as we have multiple cars now. A lot of times it's not where the fuse gets lit, it's where the bomb goes off. One of those GL1 Camaros absolutely destroyed there. You can see the smoke billowing out of it.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Race fans, welcome back to Talladega, as we had a little bit of a gremlin there, so we went to a quick commercial break so we could restabilize the session. That is done. Here we are back at it as it's a 3-legged race off of pit road. Again, this coming off of the second caution for incident on the evening. Some drivers here going to stay out, including Luke Freeman, Kevin Tipton. And then first car coming off of pit road leading the charge there. Again, going to be Michael Guest in that Toyota. I haven't talked much about him, but how about Omar? Currently being scored there in that 4th place position. Then you're going to have the big-time name drivers of Malik Ray, Kyler Wynn, Matt Baker, Brock Westmoreland, up 5 spots, Dalton Steele, and rounding out the top 10 in the Ford, Ethan Eckert. Again, this coming off of the second caution on the evening. It started up near the front as a couple cars got set down the racetrack. And it seemed like those everything had stabilized. We were going to be able to stay green. And then all of a sudden, a secondary incident due to probably, I'm assuming, the checking up out there on the racetrack. And as multiple cars were involved, responsible for bringing out the second caution flag here. Pit stops completed for most of these drivers. As now the Ford carries the torch here of Luke Freeman. So we have 15 laps written in the history books here tonight. And want to thank everyone for joining us here this evening on PGR eSports. If you can help support the cause, smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to all the high-flying, high-octane esports sim racing action right here. You get notified each and every time we are live in prime time. Join the family as well. It's as simple as smashing that subscribe button. Become part of the family right here on PGR eSports. Those lights go out on that iRacing.com pace car. As these roughneck drivers, it's been rough out there on the racetrack. Some rough racing, and on the other side of the coin, some rough collisions, some violent, I should say. See Michael Guest there below the yellow line. Certainly doesn't want to start down there. Look for him to bring it back up onto the racetrack, and there he goes. Come now into the turns 3 and 4 complex. Make sure we get the deck shuffled here correctly. That pace car gets ready to go back on down pit road so we can turn it back to the good side of things. We approach that Geico restart zone. Freeman's going to have the trigger. Green flag back in the air, and he's going to punch that throttle through the floorboards and uncork that thing. Getting a big-time push there from the 45 ride and the 7 of Malik Ray on the bottom. But it's tipped in on the outside lane. That's going to do it better. As the 24 is Welding. Oh, here we go again. And we don't go again. Look at that move by the 45 with Malik Ray glued to the bumper of that race car. They're easily going to surge ahead and send it back to the top shelf of the racetrack. Meanwhile, it's a 4-wide frenzy as we approach the start-finish line, as Michael Guest now leads. Oh, the Ford got door checked. Oh, he's probably madder than a Keebler elf. I got to put a fudge packer right now from that move. He had he had so much of a run coming, he still got stuffed by the 82, was able to carry it down to the bottom. And he leads the low lane now. A squeeze job there, get skinny, boys. You pitch a tent, or you could there, before they widen things back out. Oh, that was almost a push gone wrong there. Logan York, Matt Baker there in the 5. I'll tell you what, Matt Baker, he's been hot at times. Last week I thought it was his race to win. That car was just dialed in. He was driving great. He could do anything he wanted with that car until that dark black voodoo cloud just seemed to lurk over his car through the midway point of the race. Got caught up in some extracurricular activities on that racetrack. Was unable to finish. You know, Baker's looking to have a strong run here this evening, because he's now the second car doing all the pushing behind Michael Guest. But right now, it is all John Ward. Getting help from Ethan Eckert there in the Ford. In fact, it's Ward, Eckert, and York. And like always, it's Ethan Eckert who's the cream filling in the Camaro sandwich right now. So we're now 20 laps complete out of the scheduled 60 this evening. See the intensity start to dial back down a little bit, perhaps, as we've already had 2 cautions for incident early in this one. Oh, Baker almost got taken to the cleaners. What a save by Baker as he took it in the business end. That car was pointed 45 degrees in the wrong direction. And not only that, he goes the fastest lap of the race. Are you kidding me? Baker has got the afterburner lit in that F-22 Raptor, poised as a Chevrolet Camaro, and he is bringing some serious boogie to the front. And now he has Ethan Eckert radar locked as he sucks up to the back of that dark horse. However, Michael Guest says, not so fast. I got other plans. This Malik Ray gives him the business, and they work 1-2 to the high lane and take the lead back. Tell you what, these guys look like they can do anything they want at any point in time. They roll to the point, they can shuffle back. If you get the right dancing partner or the right help, I mean, it almost looks easy out there at times. As talked about him earlier, there's that Ryko 1 machine. I mean, he is not afraid to be aggressive in the kindness. Oh! They bump not once, twice, and rattle that razzle and dazzle. Here we go. Dawson Wise, Brock Westmoreland again. Jason Maines. A little bit of damage there to Kenneth McCullough. As mayhem on the track breaks loose once again. Go back to the PGR instant replay. Go ahead and cue playback here. Watch the high side of the racetrack. I mean, the 82 just puts the old squeeze job out of that Advanced Auto Parts machine. That's going to deploy the air brake, the e-brake, cheese grater up against the top shelf of the racetrack, and then it's just going to spiral outside of control from there. 25 gets turned off the nose. There's the 5 as well. It's 4, 5, 6 cars involved here. Let's go old school VHS mode here and wind this back. And I do apologize, folks, for doing it this way. For sometimes it just makes for a better experience.
Yo. Hey, back that thing up. At least take me out to dinner first.
If we, you know what? Let's go ahead and play this back at speed. Just things happen so fast here at Talladega. Before you even blink, you're in it. Moderate damage there to the front of James Wagoner in the 25. That dark horse is wounded. The Chevrolet Camaro there has got what they call pug face with the front all kicked in. That's not going to help him any, especially here at Talladega. Both those drivers are going to need to go down pit road. Have those race teams go to work on those race cars. Again, aerodynamics, everything at super speedways. For all intents and purposes, those race cars are going to be like a snowplow, catching all kinds of air, especially the 25. We now send it back to the live side of things once again here on PGR eSports as Michael Guest continues to lead here. His dancing partner, Malik Ray, these two have seemed almost invincible at times, can just go wherever they want, when they want. As that rounds out your top two, Dalton Steele, Omar, even with the board in fourth, and Ethan, one of my favorite Eckerts, in fifth. John Ward, Nash Brella, Jason Maines, driver of the three, Jared Haynes, and Logan York, who's up 15 positions, round out your top 10. We're going to step aside, but you're not going to miss anything. We're going to go all-out coverage right here on PGR. We'll be back momentarily. Green flag back in the air at Earnhardt Country right here in Talladega, Alabama. Hope you guys enjoyed the sights and sounds of these race cars as we cranked it up when we went back to green flag racing and picking up right where he left off. Michael Guest and Malik Ray doing the dance on the high side of the racetrack where Mama hides the cookies. Ethan Eckert, though, on the bottom. The AutoZone almost took it. Oh, what a big time block. He just, lost for words there, as I thought for certain that race car was going to go aflame. And now it's 3 wide with a 1-car breakaway with no help. He's going to fall to the bottom lane and get picked up there. But now it's 2 by 2, side by side. Noah's Ark situation as Malik somehow finds Michael Guest once again. And the AutoZone machine's going to get taken to the scrapyard. As multiple drivers go aflame, go up head on into that safer barrier. And in the words of Phil Collins, I could feel that one coming in the air tonight. Holy good Lord Jesus. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. They already got me scraping myself off the broadcast floor. I don't know if I'm going to survive another 30 laps. You know, Darrell Waltrip used to say, cautions breed cautions, and that certainly seems to be what's happening, at least right now, out there on the racetrack. As we can't seem to put this yellow flag away. And again, you have to survive to be alive. You got to have a car that can win. Can't win it on lap 1. Certainly these guys know it. You have to have the sound mechanically clean and aerodynamically good machine out there at the end of this thing. Some of these drivers have anything but right now. So let's go back to the PGR instant replay here. See what set this track aflame. Logan York being involved in, well, that's not a sight for injury right there. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars pointed every which way but straight. As we wind this back just a little bit. Cue the playback. Send it up to the chopper cam here. Actually, let's stay on board with York here. You can see it pops off just in front of him. By the time he has any visibility at all, he sees that 12 machine, the AutoZone ride, come up and just right into the A-pillar up the racetrack again. This is at quarter speed, folks. Just so we can get an idea of what happened here as you're on board with the 0-2 of York. Zach Camaro has seen better days. And if we roll this back once again. I mean, you knew this was coming. You could just feel it. Now, let's go to the chopper cam. 12 gets turned off the nose there. He locks it down. He's hanging on for dear life. 12's going to get some extra help there from the 2. They go up the racetrack. Going to turn the 59 right into the fence. The 03, the 8 have nowhere to go. Moderate damage there. You see parts falling off of the Napa Know-How machine. Things go amiss here as they send it send it back to the live side of things. Those cars all now on pit road for an extended stay for required repairs. As Nasber Umbrella leads for the first time here tonight. Halfway in the books here on PGR eSports. We're going to step aside, pay some bills, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with all the high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on PGR.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to PGR eSports. Matt Mettler up the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, filling in for the lean, mean Austin Green tonight. Is back under green flag conditions as Chase Mistretta and Michael Guest now command the front of the field as we're almost 4 wide, 3 wide. We go through the tri-oval. Looks like Omar is going to get caught there in the black hole as he slips all the way to the back. It's Garrett Maines in the right go one. Mr. Excitement had the lead there momentarily. Now he's going to get stuck in the middle. Does he get some help? He does. Able to bait the 12 to come up there and give him a shot. This Michael Guest continues to be a force to be reckoned with here, as lap 35 now being shown on the board. I don't know what that was. Is he slipping on the computer again over there? Somebody wake him up. He just got back from a commercial break. We don't want to see it. There's 25 laps to go now in this 60-lap scheduled event here tonight. Omar in the 21. He has been racy tonight. So he's now back up in that second place position. Kyler went in third, even with the board. That's Toyota that has a troop of Chevrolets behind him. As Michael Guest and John Ward, so the two biggest movers of the race inside the top 5, as Guest carries the torch and Ward resides in 4th. And Wednesday night in primetime means Roughneck is out there on the racetrack, bringing you all the live action right here on PGR eSports. Oh, folks, I'm telling you, the storm is a-brewing once again. How many times have we seen this? Is the baker, he is cooking. He's got the goodies in the oven, and he takes it to the point as he now leads. Now let's send it over to the YouTube.com live chat here as his mom's always checking in, supporting the cause. There she is. Thomas Parker joining us. Big roast. None. Thomas Parker. I appreciate all you guys being with us here this evening. Sound off in the live chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. Get these drivers some more screen time for you as well. There's 34 of you currently watching with us live right now. I appreciate you guys supporting the cause, being here for all the high-flying, high-octane racing action this evening. Talking about the new updated models here, Thomas Parker, he says if your engine or wheels sustain heavy enough damage, it may be beyond your pit crew's skill to repair. You're toast, and that's a great point, Thomas. Always a good conversation, discussion, always going on the iRacing.com live chat. Ooh. Things got hot and heavy there for a moment, didn't they? In fact, it has been that way for the majority of this race since the drop of the green flag. Wynn now gives the business to the backing guest. Matty Baker in the Chevrolet on the high side. He now slots in to that second place as Brock Westmoreland just bailed on Baker. That's called the shovel. You know, drivers are going to remember that if someone helps you get, you know, in the high lane, work your way up through traffic, and the minute you get cleared, you just bail on him. I mean, that could come back to haunt you at the end of the race. I know if I'm out there driving, I certainly would remember that. As Baker now leads the top lane. Garrett Maines in tow. Malik Ray moving his way back towards the front as he did get shuffled back a little bit. That's going to be that 7 machine. In fact, let's go on board with the driver of the 5 ride, Matt Baker. Roughnet Racing, the Texas man, has the plan here at Talladega. Got a head of steam coming. He's got the afterburner lit. Going to pop up his telemetry, the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. 191 miles an hour as he sends it down to the bottom. Getting a big-time shove here as he quickly approaches 200 miles an hour in the next gen. Just about 8,600 RPM as he sends it off into the turns 1 and 2 complex. $19 laps remaining in this one, and it has been a barn burner from the drop of the green flag. Oh, guest almost. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Are you serious? I don't know how he held out of that race car. And if that's not enough, he's going to send it back up and bottle up the top lane now. I don't think Baker lifted because he did similar on a deal about a week ago that completely threw his chances up in smoke. I don't think the 5 lifted there. That's just a heck of a wheelman behind the wheel of that race car. Or a heck of a driver, I should say, behind the wheel of that race car. Just now it's Sean Forrest special as we go down the backstretch. Third lane trying to get rolling back there. Luke Friedman, Sean Ward. Chevrolet and 2 Fords there. They just don't have the numbers yet. $18 laps to go. It's not quite go time yet, but you guarantee deals are trying to be made right now. 62 there, going to get hung in the middle lane. He's going to slot in behind the 41. In fact, he might keep it there as they're trying to get a middle lane going here all of a sudden. And these drivers have not been content just running in one spot out there on the racetrack. They have been dicing it up. Kyler Wynn now shows P1 on the scoring pylon. Last time by ran a 48.97. Baker hanging tough on the bottom there. Got a great dancing partner there in that Ryko number 1 machine. That high lane, though, really has that lane formed up well. You can see the momentum, the energy. Big time move there from Malik Ray. As he's now eating on the bottom. Stuffed it in there like grandma's business after church on Sunday morning, and here come green flag pit stops. Multiple drivers coming down pit road for their money stop. Last thing you want to do is get caught speeding, have a mistake, a miscue here. Kyler Wynn, Malik Ray, Omar, Garrett Maines. Driver up the 5 ride, Matt Baker, Jason D. Maines. Michael Guest as well, all on pit road. Drivers down and away as we drag race off. This is a critical point in time of the race under green flag conditions here. This can really stretch the field out and chop it up into multiple groups here. Typically, whatever group does it better. So getting onto the binders, down to pit road speed, executing in their box and cycling back out on the racetrack. More often times than not, going to find themselves in the money positions. As Malik now leads this group of cars off of pit road. Or excuse me, he's third in line. Michael Guest in the 19 leads this group off of pit road. Let's see if it's come one, come all, and it is. As John Ward now, Landon Velicki, Brock Westmoreland, Chase Mistretta, Jared Haynes, Ethan Eckert in this group as well. And look at the boys that just pitted on the high side of the racetrack, as they have lit the afterburner. See you later, I'm out of here, as it's a 4-car breakaway being led by Michael Guest. And these guys are going to want to stay tucked in line right now, straight as an arrow, trying to get all the momentum they can to distance themselves from Landon Velicki and company. In fact, these guys here are going to start racing here side by side, 2 lanes. That's exactly what Michael Guest, Kyler Wynn, Malik Ray want to see. They want to see these guys 2 by 2, side by side, going to war with one another. Again, this is 5th place on back. They're single filing up on the high side of the racetrack, led by Velicki here. That group now merges to the bottom. There's your lead group, these 4 cars. Last time by, Michael Guest ran a 48.37. If you go back to Garrett Maines in 6th, he ran a 48.41. Mistretta a 48.39. So they are slightly a little bit faster. And you can see them now starting to come into frame. As they try to close the distance here with 12 laps remaining. Oh, Michael Guest has really got it turned up this lap. Let's check this group speed at the line. They come by Barney in the checkered flag stand. That lap was a 48.40. In fact, that was across the board. All 4 cars, according to timing and scoring, ran a 48.40 to Velicki's 48.53. They have decided they don't want no one catching these guys. They have lit the wick, activated the Saturn V rocket, and are trying to check out of Dodge. As we now are coming to 10 laps to go. If I was Guest, Wynn, Malik, one of these drivers, I'd be trying to communicate with them, let them know, hey, let's just work together here. Let's try to get as far away as we can to eliminate other competition from coming up here and cutting in on our action. Then 1 lap to go. It is all-out warfare. Every lap, every man for himself, I should say. What do you say we jump on board with Kyler Witt, who currently runs in that second place position? Very aggressive pushing right now. It is under 10 laps to go. Almost firing off into the corner. Taking the shortest distance around this place on the bottom. Speeds were almost at 200 miles an hour. As he closes in on the back of that Camry. You see a little bit of the bump, the contact there. Now north of 200 miles an hour. This group now has over a 3-second advantage over the 5th place car from Lake Martin, Alabama, being piloted by the one and only Landon Veliky. He is the leader of the second group of cars. You can see just how much real estate between him and that lead pack as they fire off into those turns 1 and 2 complex. These drivers now have gotten single file. If you recall, the first couple laps after that pit cycle, they were 2 by 2, side by side. They decided it was time to try and go to run down this lead pack of cars, as they now have it under 3 seconds. Now that they're single file, they do have the numbers to go out up there and challenge that lead pack being led by Guest, but do they have enough time? This next gen need to be about 0.5 to 0.6 of a second back before you really start to maximize from the draft, which they do have some room to go. And in fact, just as I say that, that margin starts to widen back out again. Matt Baker in this group as well, as he is the 4th car in line in that 5. Hoping there's still enough time on the clock, as we are the burning of the midnight oil as we start to go too wide here now. There's John Ward in the 92 going to the outside of the racetrack. Oh, he's going to stuff it right in Matt Baker's lap. That's the second time this race that's happened to Baker. Ward gets yeeted out of that group, and he's going to cycle to the back here. Brock Westmoreland, Ethan Eckert there from Chicago, the southern shores of the Great Lakes. And Aubrey Thompson round out your top 15 from Trinity, North Carolina. Gentlemen's handshake lap on the board, 5 laps remaining. For Michael Guest. Here in Earnhardt Country. I mean, you really can't ask for much of a better supporting cast than the drivers that Michael has with him in this pack group of cars. You got Kyler Witt. Dominant force on the Coke side of things. Malik Ray in 3rd. Omar, Landon Veliky leads that second group. But it's these front 4. Oh, I'm not so sure about this. This might be too early here. mean, that other group of cars is coming. There you go. Put it back in line. I mean, these guys don't, I mean, they want to, if these drivers want to, and that's what they're doing, they want to increase their chances of winning this race, replacing inside the money. And the best way to do that is don't let anyone else up here in the front to spoil your action. Maine's still about 2.9 seconds back. Here's this other group right here. See some time to your extreme pushing. I mean, we are shoving hard right now, big time shove. As these drivers know, it is do or die time right now, so we're going to see some really aggressive pushing and shoving, drafting going on. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Some tandem drafting there, made famous back in the COT era. And you really can't stay hooked together long, as these cars will overheat in no time, and they don't cool down as quick as they used to either. Oh, there! Are you kidding me? A caution with 2 laps to go. Save it, save it, save it. No! That's what you don't want to see. And Michael Guest, Kyler Witt, Malik Ray. A late caution here from a push gone wrong. How many times have we seen that here at Talladega? Well, folks, go get some extra popcorn, get a drink, because we're probably going to go all the way deep into overtime with every chance that we have. As some of these drivers, Michael Guest, Win, Malik, we better get a psychologist on the radio, be the voice of reason. Talk at these drivers off a cliff right now, because I can assure you their tempers and emotion are boiling over right now. As they did everything right, they put themselves in position. Leave it to someone else. Blow it up the smithereens right there. There's a late race caution, comes out on the racetrack. And now everyone on the lead lap is literally going to have an opportunity to throw themselves into victory lane. Unreal here late at Talladega. I'm not saying they did this, but I often wonder, hey, why not throw a caution here late? Just, hey, give me a bad push and I'll hook it down the racetrack. Not saying that's what happened in this case, but really, that's the only way you were getting back into this thing. For some drivers, Christmas has come early. And others, like Guest, Win, Malik, feel like they've been robbed by Krampus. As an iRacing.com pace car comes back out onto the racetrack. Slow things down here to a snail's pace. Well, guys, in the YouTube.com live chat, place your bets. Troy Elliott checking in. Thanks for being here. Chris Carter. Baker's mom says drunk driving from the start. And appreciate you guys being here with us tonight, supporting the cause. Some of the best drivers on the iRacing.com servers show off here at Talladega, or I should say put on a show here at Talladega. Grandma's sitting next to me. She's got her life alert in one hand, her Colonel Free popcorn in the other. Parker says, go in car with Guest to see if he's coasting. You got it, brother. We can do that. Guest, your leader, of course. Under caution here. Let's throw it on board with your leader, Michael Guest. See if he is saving fuel here. Right now, he is turning RPM in 5th gear. A little bit of fuel saving going on there. Certainly clutching it. You can see when he lets the clutch out, those RPM spike back up. Now he's clutching it. 300 RPM. He's not shutting the car off, because in that case, that dash should dim out and go black. However, showing 300 RPM, so he's certainly saving fuel. See if that's the case for some of these other drivers as well, as we now go on board with Kyler Wynn, who currently holds down that 2nd place position. Saving fuel as well. Omar, who's going to restart P3 here. Malik, also saving fuel. And that seems to be a common trend here inside at least the top 5 drivers. So we now lighten things back out. Lights go out on that iRacing.com pace car. Calm before the storm here right now. It's like being in the middle of a Category 5 hurricane. Everything's calm, cool, collected. But in the blink of an eye, it's going to go from 0 to 1,000. And hold on for your lives, folks. It's about to get rowdy in Daytona. We get rid of that iRacing.com pace car. There he goes, and here we go. Michael Guest on the high side of the racetrack into the Geico restart zone. He's going to stand on it. Here we go again at Talladega. Green flag in the air as these glorious VAs come roaring back to life. Just 2 laps remain. Oh, big time push there, but the one Ryko machine, he's going to try to send it in there like Superman. 3 lanes. Noah's Ark situation as they're just about leaning on each other. Kyler Wynn's going to get a big time push and clears to the high side of the racetrack. There's 2 7s there on the racetrack. Malik is in that 7 in the high lane, currently in that 2nd place position. Here comes John Ward. Where did he come from? He is getting pushed by Mr. Excitement in that Ryko machine. It's almost 3 lanes of fury here. White flag in the air. We are not going to go through all the available overtimes. We are racing back to the checkered flag. Kyler Wynn has it dialed up to the heavens as he currently rips the top of the fishbowl. Oh, there goes 2 cars, multiple cars now. We are wrecking in the back, but we are going to keep it here towards the front. As multiple cars got yeeted, but if you go through the turns 3 and 4 complex for the final time tonight, Kyler Wynn keeps that CL1 Chevrolet at the point. Is Michael Guest going to turn it down to the bottom as we come through the Geico restart zone? Kyler Wynn is going to win here in the House of Earnhardt as he wins the 60-lap event here at Talladega. No one circles the whales like Kyler Wynn, Michael Guest, Ethan Eckert, Malik Ray. Round out your top 4. What a drive from Kyle Wynn. As he made all the right moves at right times. Certainly couldn't have done it without Michael Guest. And how about Ethan Eckert in that Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang? Getting it done with a podium finish here. He comes home in that 3rd place position. Your winning moment here brought to you by PGR eSports. Kyler Winner, your winner here tonight as he gets ready to burn it down in front of a sold-out crowd. Use up those Dr. Feelgoods, bro. You don't need them anymore. You know he is lit right now. He had the right playbook. He had everything executed perfectly at the end of this thing. As he was able to best Michael Guest, Ethan Eckert. As he continues to let it rip Tater Chip at the start-finish line. And he's not, I don't think he's going to lift until that thing throws a piston through the hood of that race car. I haven't seen a burnout this good or this long in a long time here. With Kyler Witt. Going to turn those things into molten lava. I'm surprised that car hasn't blown up yet. So he continues to celebrate here. Hope you fans in the iRacing or the YouTube.com live chat enjoyed the show tonight. We appreciate you being along with us right here as we now get ready to interview our top 3 drivers. Again, looking for Kyler Wynn, Michael Guest, Ethan Eckert. You'll be hearing from them here momentarily. Joining me now in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth, comes home with the strong 3rd place finish tonight, Ethan Eckert. Welcome to the broadcast booth. What a ride from you tonight, my man.
Hi. Yeah, it was a ton of fun. So, really, I thought it was gonna be a 4-car breakaway, and it was just gonna pretty much end like that. And there was a caution. I'm like, yay, I still have a chance, and I got 3rd out of it, so I'm happy.
You got to be ecstatic, man. And you stole the words out of my mouth. I thought it was going to be a 4-car breakaway. Then Talladega does Talladega things. When you seen that caution flag come out, what was your reaction at that moment in time out there on the racetrack?
I was completely shocked, and I was worried about what my call was going to be, whether or not to pit or not, because I still had like 3.5 minutes of damage. So I was debating, is this going to slow me down too much? Is our rear end? So I'm like, I might as well stay out. I'm in 10th or 12th or something like that, where I still have track position on my side. I knew if I go to the back, it's not going to be as likely for me to cash, and I made the right call.
Yeah, you absolutely did there, even. I mean, these plate races, sometimes Lady Luck is on your side, and things just happen to go your way. And, you had a little bit of help there tonight in that department, but you also got up on the wheel, and you drove your tail off, in that Dark Horse Ford Mustang. How were you able to survive the calamity and all the chaos out there on the racetrack over the course of this race tonight?
Well, earlier in the race, which I couldn't really avoid, I just got hooked by Diallo, which he got hooked up in. Well, he got hit up into me, which it wasn't his fault at all. Nothing he could have done. I was like on his door too, so
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm not surprised about it. But that gave me a good amount of damage. I got like 2 minutes of that fixed, and I threw kind of an iffy block, and that gave me a little bit more on my left rear. So, I mean, it didn't cause a wreck or anything, so I'm good still. But yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for that great analysis and breakdown. And Ethan, before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helped you get it done on that Ford Mustang you drove tonight?
I want to thank you for broadcasting, James Wagoner Welding for putting this on. Logan York, he's always great to run with when he races. Great teammate. I was working with Landon, Chase, and Vince this race too, which they were a big help. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Ethan Eckert saw that yellow flag come out and completely revitalized his vibe inside that race car, got up on the wheel and brought it home to a solid third place finish. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, man. We'll catch you next time. I'm going to drop you back down in the interview waiting room.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your time. Always a pleasure talking to Ethan Eckert. As now we bring up our second place finisher here tonight. Michael Guest, Matt, up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. You got a copy there, boss man. Gonna try it one more time. Michael Guest, Matt, up top in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, man.
Yep, I got you.
Well, hey, Mike, first and foremost, congratulations on a second place run here this evening. Let me roll it back here just a little bit. Outside of 5 laps to go, you guys are in the middle of a 4-car breakaway. You guys have the afterburners lit. You're trying to check out of Dodge. You were pulling away from that second group of cars, and that caution flag under 3 laps to go comes out. What is the mentality at that point in time inside your race car on the track?
Yeah, it would have been pretty interesting. I was really looking forward to see how that last lap would have gone. I know we were all just trying to get to it because we didn't have too big of a lead to really start racing each other. But it was definitely going to be a brawl. It would have probably split up into a 2 versus 2 in some way, and who knows what would have happened. But either way, those last 2 laps were pretty fun. I'm really glad we went green there because I definitely didn't have enough fuel to make it another green, white checkered. So worked out for me tonight. I've done a lot of these, at least in the community overall, like in PGR and stuff. So definitely appreciative to come out with the last 2 weeks now with some money.
Hey, absolutely. Nothing helps more than momentum and also putting some greed in your pocket, especially around the holidays, from the way you've been running here in competition, especially as of recent. Always a force to be reckoned with out there on the racetrack. In fact, some of the fans in the youtube.com live chat wanted to jump on board with you before that final restart to confirm you were saving fuel. But hey, you didn't have to go through all those restarts. As you said, luck went your way. How were you able, though, near the end of this thing to put yourself in the right place to challenge Kyler for the victory?
Yeah, if anything, it was a little accidental. I was asking Omar if he wanted to, tango to the line and try to go low because I didn't think anybody was gonna be able to race any of us up there, and I didn't want any of us that were working together at the end to get screwed over. But Omar was also hot at that point, so I ended up backing up to him while he was already hot, and I mean we just got a huge run from whatever was going on. So I went low and I gave it my best shot. Glad we all still came out with some money though, but congrats to Kyler. I know he's been pretty good in these lately.
And Mike, before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done in that TRD powered machine tonight?
Yeah, I mean, just all this community for putting this kind of racing on. I used to do this stuff back like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, from another little community that stopped eventually. So glad to see you back active and thriving nowadays with consistent community doing races most of the week.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. He lit up tonight in prime time. Michael Guest, always a force to be reckoned with on the racetrack. He comes home just a little bit short, but he'll take the money and the momentum. Thanks for joining me up here in the broadcast booth. You have a great evening, sir.
Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure talking with Michael Guest every time we get a chance here on the PGR eSports Broadcasting Network. That means we are 2 down, 1 to go. Going to talk with Kyler Wynn, your winner here tonight. Try this here one more time, see if we can get him up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Joining me now, your winner this evening, Kyler. Matt up top, you got a copy, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, hey, brother, first and foremost, congratulations on punching your ticket into Earnhardt country here tonight. This race was a wild one from the drop of the green flag. How are you able to make the right moves at the right time and put this thing in victory lane, bud?
Yeah, man, just honestly a lot of luck and the help of 4 or 3 teammates behind me. That definitely makes it easier working with Michael Guest, Omar Diallo, and Malik Ray there. They're a great group. They're some of the most experienced play racers on the service. Makes everything easy with them. Everything, all our moves are kind of like common sense. Minimal communication is required between us. We kind of know like what we're gonna do next. Just like almost read each other's minds. But either way, great teamwork. Perfect execution on the pit stop. We were able to get a break there. It looked like we were gonna finish 1 through 4th, but they wrecked in the back. So we had to do it the hard way, but we still got all of the drivers in the top 5 there. So very successful.
You know, you mentioned that 4-car breakaway there at the front, and even all the fans watching the YouTube.com live chat were saying the same thing. It's going to be a 4-car breakaway. At the back of my mind, and I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to invoke the broadcaster's curse, I'm thinking, how many times have we seen a late race caution come out in situations like this? Sure enough, there it goes. And I asked the other 2 drivers, and I'm going to ask you the same question as well. When you see that yellow flag come out, what was your initial reaction inside the cockpit of the race car on the racetrack?
A lot of disappointment. Just a huge sigh was let out by the whole Discord. But we immediately started planning what we were doing, thinking about pitting. We made the call to stay out. Thank God we did, because it was chaos in the back of the pack. About 30 cars not lifting is really scary, so track position is vital. I think we had enough fuel for 1 green white checkered, so staying out there was risky, but I'm glad we got the white on the green white checkered, or we probably would have all ran out of fuel.
Hey, well said, Kyler. And sometimes if you don't take the risk, there's no reward. You certainly weren't afraid to go high-stakes Las Vegas mode, roll the dice, and boy, did it work out for you tonight as you won here in Earnhardt country. Before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helped you get it done on that machine?
Yeah, just factory steps of the car, the team. They're a great team. I know they're kind of dead, but the team run by Kevin King. And 3 teammates, Michael Guest, Malik Ray, and Omar Diallo.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, always dialing up the high-flying, high-octane racing action. Your winner tonight. Nobody circles the wagons like Kyler Wynn. Thanks for joining me up here in the broadcast booth, bud.
Yep, thank you for the broadcast.
Anytime, man. Always a pleasure to talk to these guys, especially when Kyler Wynn is fired up. And, man, did he put on a show here tonight. Hopefully you folks took notes at home because he showed you how to get it done, especially stacked up against some great competition here each and every time they strap in on the money racing side of things right here on PGR eSports. Well, it has come to that point in time of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Well, all good things must come to an end, including this broadcast. Cannot thank all of you in the iRacing.com live chat, all the strategic partners, fans, sponsors, and drivers that make this great league possible. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor, don't play in traffic, and we'll see you next time right here on PGR eSports.